bittersweet Catholic school lifer. While growing up in Spokane, he attended St. Augustine Grade School, Gonzaga Cup, and Gonzaga University. Yes, he is a proud Zag. More importantly, Mr. Rothrock models the type of person Catholic schools hope to shape. As you will discover in this brief introduction, Mr. Rothrock has made a life of serving others. Over time, his interests and work have taken him far from Spokane. After teaching French at Bellarmine here in Tahoma, he went to study in France, and while there, worked at L'Arche. In 1977, and back in Tahoma, Mr. Rothrock, along with a few others, founded L'Arche Tahoma Home. They envisioned a community where people with disabilities and their caregivers live together in a spirit of faith and friendship. Through much love, hard work, and grace, the community flourished. The fruits of his vision and his faithfulness have helped make L'Arche Tahoma Home what it is today. Additionally, Mr. Rothrock was a part of the team that began Nativity House here in Tahoma. Established in 1979 to serve men and women in need of food and shelter, today Nativity House is the largest, most comprehensive facility in Pierce County, serving low-income and homeless adult men and women. Mr. Rothrock's passion for serving those in need has taken him to Africa, where he worked with Catholic Relief Services. He has served in Burundi, Kenya, and Chad, as well as closer to the United States and Haiti. Currently, Mr. Rothrock has returned to his Tacoma connection and serves as the Director of Development for L'Arche Tahoma. He is married to Glories Sabuku Rothrock and has two children, Michael and Shiva. Please join me in welcoming our guest speaker this morning, Mr. David Rothrock.
Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, Mr. Douglas. I'm really happy to be here today. It was wonderful to watch you come up and get your honors and gifts. I think I'm here partially because there's this nice friendship between L'Arche and St. Patrick's School. Some of you know L'Arche. I know the 8th graders know L'Arche because they came out for their retreat just before Christmas. But I think some of your other classes know L'Arche from Mr. Tui and some of the L'Arche people who come into your classes. But L'Arche is a community where people with and without intellectual disabilities live together, share a life together, and work together. I want to congratulate all those who received honors today and will receive honors. You have used your gifts well, the gifts that God has given to you, and that is really wonderful. But I want to congratulate all of you, every one of you, because you're all working to find those gifts and to use those gifts. Every one of you. God has given gifts to each of you, and that's what school is all about. School is about finding the gifts that God gave you, and then being able to use them. So that's all your teachers want, and that's all your parents want. They want you to discover your gifts and to learn how to use them. I work with people that oftentimes aren't considered to have many gifts, but they really do, because every person has gifts. People with intellectual disabilities suffer a lot because they're isolated. Sometimes they're laughed at. They're not always appreciated. But they have many gifts. We just have to discover them. I remember years ago when L'Arche was just starting and Nativity House was just starting. So Nativity House was for homeless people, people on the street. And it was, they both kind of started together. And Valerie was a friend of mine. Valerie had severe cerebral palsy. She could walk if someone was behind her. She couldn't control her limbs very well. And she used a communication board to talk. So she couldn't speak, but she would point to pictures or she would spell words out, simple words. Well, one day she was at the house, and one of the people from Nativity House, this was a man who suffered a lot. He'd been in prison. He was very closed and isolated. We used to have a program where we go out and cut firewood to help support Nativity House, and he was one of those men that would go out and cut firewood. But he was very closed. I came into the house one day, and here at the dining room table was Valerie with her communication board, and the smile. Valerie had this wonderful smile, and she looked up to me, kind of, David, to say, I have a new friend. And I looked at Guy sitting next to her, and tears were just running down his face. He was broken open. He was crying because he'd never, or for a long time, never met such kindness, such compassion, such respect. Here Valerie, with all her weaknesses, was able to touch him in his heart and reveal to him his own goodness. And maybe that's one of the best gifts we have to give, the gift of kindness, the gift of respect. I lived in Africa for a long time, and kids growing up in Africa learn a lot of respect. It's one of the principal things. Compassion. And if anything, our world needs today is more kindness, more respect, more compassion. I know the retreat that the 8th graders made out at Larson before Christmas, I was very impressed because I think you focused first on how you serve God with your hands, the gifts of your hands, and then how you serve God with your mind, with your intelligence, and then how you serve God with your heart. It's Catholic School Week, and thank you, St. Pat's, for all you're doing for kids. Because Catholic school is not only teaching you and helping you discover your gifts, but St. Pat's and Catholic schools want to help you know how to use your gift for others. They're not just for you. You all have many gifts, but they're not just for you. They're to share with others and to make the world a better place. Because we're counting on you as you're growing up. You're really important. And a Catholic school is really saying, yes, learn your gifts, use them, and help them to serve others. Help make the world be a better place. So I want to thank you, St. Pat's. I want to thank Mr. Gavin. I want to thank the teachers who do so much, more than you can ever imagine. I want to thank you, parents, you who are the real teachers of the children, the deepest teachers of the children. Thank you. I had a dear friend whose children all went to St. Pat's. She's gone to heaven quite a few years ago. But I was with her one time when she had her adult children with her, about 6 or 7 children. And she said to them, and you know, I love you so much. And you know how much I love you. I love you so much. But I really don't worry about you, because God loves you a lot more than I do. And if God loves you more than I do, I know you'll be just fine. So congratulations to all of you. Use your gifts.